Blessings. I know it's been long overdue, and I really appreciate each and every one of you's patience. I just had some sales going on because Valentine's Day is coming up, so I've been hella busy. So I apologize for such a long, extensive delay with this content, the mental psyche of the married man. Trust and believe I'm going to go right into it today, so I'm not going to give my usual pitch and my welcome greeting and all of that, but I will say I appreciate y'all for still supporting me. Thank you for those of you who have recently subscribed to my channel. If you have not subscribed, please make sure before you exit the content today that you like, you share, you subscribe. I really appreciate that. That's what helps my videos to get into the algorithms. So it's a good look for me every time you like the video and you share the video. So please hit that like button as soon as you can. If you can do it right now and get it over with, that way it's already done, I would appreciate it. So let's go right into it. Y'all have already been waiting long enough. The last upload I did, I'll say, was probably like sometime last month. The Psyche of the Side Chick. If you have not checked it out already, please feel free to do so. It is still in my archives. It's still up there. I did not erase it. I did not delete it. I thought it was imperative that I did the mental psyche of the married man because we needed to go into full circle to understand how situations like this come about, how adultery is committed, what is the mental psyche that causes it, what is the mental psyche while it's continuing, and also the mental psyche of the damage that is done afterwards. Because I know a lot of women in America, have experienced this at some point in time, and it's very unfortunate, but the truth of the matter is it's going to at least be 4 out of 5 women that are going to encounter some type of adultery or cheating from their male counterpart within their marriage, and vice versa for men as well. But I just want to stick with one side because it gets confusing when you go back and forth. So nevertheless, it's a lot of households and marriages that are being infected and impacted by adultery, because there's this one particular person that's immature and does not know how to deal with his problems in a way that a husband should deal with his problems, other than choosing the alternative to step outside of his marriage, outside of his household, not realizing that all it does is create a whole nother set of problems. So while he's thinking that, whatever his reason or excuses are, well, you're nagging me, I'm not getting pleased enough, you don't have time for me, the relationship is getting dull, whatever his excuses is, that he feels justifies him stepping outside his marriage and cheating, he doesn't realize that all it does is add on a whole nother set of problems. That is why Martell, if any of y'all are familiar with the reality show Love and Marriage in Huntsville, and a lot of these men are getting exposed every day. TJ Holmes, the broadcaster of, I think, NBC or in CBS or something like that. We're finding out more and more every day how these men are getting exploited. Every time they make the decision to step outside their marriage. Tiger Woods, Bill Clinton, the list goes on, you know what I mean? But nevertheless, we're going to discuss the mental psyche of the married man, because I want women to understand that if you have, or you may encounter this type of situation, you may find out your husband, your boyfriend, fiance is cheating, stepped out on you. I don't want you sitting up here beating yourself up with something you could have did, should have did, would have did. It does not matter. There's nothing you can possibly do with the psyche of a married man who thinks that this is acceptable. And we're going to break down the elements of that so you can get some understanding. Now, this isn't the type of understanding to mean that you tolerate it, you deal with it, but you need to understand the dynamics of it. And at the end of the day, you as a woman, you have to make the ultimate choice. If you're going to stand by it, deal with it, let him cheat in peace, or you know what, give him enough rope to hang himself where he has no choice but to humble himself, or you know what, you can deuces. I'm out. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not taking no chances. You bringing back no kids or diseases, whatever the case is. So I don't knock any woman on how she deals with her situation. You, at the end of the day, have to make that choice if it's worth staying or worth going. Hey, I've seen women who have stayed and their marriage has actually gotten better behind it. You know, it took some of these men being exposed for their bull crap, and it humbled them to where they realized after being exposed it wasn't worth all of what they were about to lose. So for some people, sometimes ugly situations does bring out the best in a person. And I know logically there's going to be women out here, all of these content creators, that are going to tell you, sis, you need to leave, you need to, later for that, once a man cheats on you, that's it, that's zero tolerance. I don't knock those women either. You know, I get it. Everybody has their no tolerance zone, but at the same time, I've known women who have overcame it, and they do have really good marriages now. You know what I mean? So all this perfect, you know, this perfection that a lot of us are telling us what shouldn't happen, what should happen, what you should deal with, what you shouldn't deal with. Everybody's journey is different. Okay? So again, at the end of the day, you have to make the decision. So let's talk about the mental psyche of the married man. Today we're going to analyze what is the mindset of the married man when he's cheating on his wife with his mistress. First off, let's be clear that there is never a wrong or right way to cheat. Regardless if it's done secretly or out in the open, cheating is cheating. Whether if sex was involved or it just was an emotional conversation, cheating is still cheating. Cheating on your companion is one of the most humiliating experiences any wife or husband could ever go through. Once trust is damaged, it can never be restored back to what it was. Trust takes years to build, but can be lost in a matter of seconds. Last week, not last week, I think last month, we discussed the mental psyche of the side chick, but now we will discuss the mental psyche of the married man. So, first of all, there are different types of cheaters. Now, keep in mind, none of these cheaters, none of them are better or less or more innocent than the other. But they all are different. So I'm going to break down the different type of cheaters because it's imperative that we understand the difference between the types of cheaters. So the first one is the habitual, a cheater that has cheated consistently throughout the relationship with multiple women. This is basically like a player, but I'm gonna go all into each one. I'm gonna just tell you the names of them right now. So the habitual one, that is the cheater who has consistently cheated with multiple women throughout his whole entire duration of the marriage. Okay, a player. Opportunist cheater. The opportunist cheater is not a consistent cheater. The act occurred on the whim, and the affair was not prolonged within the marriage. So this was like a one-night stand type of thing, a one fling type of thing. It was an opportunity that was presented, and he took the bait. Okay, but this is not a long, ongoing thing that's been occurring. This third cheater is the negligent. Cheater was under the influence of some type of substance, alcohol, drugs, whatever. Truth is, when people are under the influence of a certain type of substance, you're not in your best state of mind to utilize your best judgment. I get it. A lot of people say, yeah, I've heard men say I'm drunk as an excuse. Truth is, when you are under the influence, whether if it's alcohol or drugs, you are not in your right state of mind. And this is not your usual behavior. Now, if this is something like if he's been a habitual, no, you can't even use that as an excuse because you've been doing this a long time. But if this is something that's not of the norm of his pattern, but this occurs specifically based on the strength that he was under the influence, that makes him a negligent cheater. He was just straight up being negligent. Like I said, none of these justify or pacify a cheating man's behavior. The fourth one is the committed cheater. Now, this is a cheater who's committed to the side chick outside of the marriage, that he has had an ongoing relationship for over several years, like Martell with Arion. Okay, he's been cheating with her 7 years. Whenever it's been over a month or two, that's a committed cheater. Especially when you start putting years, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. No, he's the committed cheater, meaning he's committed to his side chick outside of his marriage. I know it makes no goddamn sense, but that's what I'm saying. Okay, so he's committed to his side chick outside the marriage. This is not just a fling, but an actual relationship outside of the marriage. So ladies, we're going to go ahead and break down each of these types of cheaters, how they mentally reason with their cheating and things of that nature, as Martell would say. Caramel Rail got me saying that. Things of that nature. She's a really good content creator, y'all. Caramel Rail. I fucks with a few of the female bloggers. The T. Let me see. The Titanic. Rosalind. It's so many, y'all. I'll be here all day. I can't even figure out most of them, but Caramel Rail is a good look. If y'all do ever go to her page, please let her know Mocha sent you there, so she knows I'm looking out and I'm supporting sisters. We do need to support each other more. So let's get it popping. Let's talk about the habitual cheater. The habitual is the highest risk factor of all cheaters. The reason for this is because he is changing women like Firestone changing tires. Again, cheating is cheating, and it's wrong whether it's with one woman or several women when you are married or in a committed relationship. He's basically a high risk factor because he deals with multiple women. He's basically a player. He's a straight player. And chances are when you're dealing with multiple women, that's more drama because all women are different. You got some women that are more dramatic than others. You got some women that are more damaged emotionally than others. If he were to play on the emotions of the wrong woman, like in the situation with Carly Hughes, side chick that became obsessed with the soon-to-be married man, she went after his fiance. You know, problem is you have a lot of these men out here who think they're so smart. They're very egotistical, and they think women are toys. Women are objects, something that they can just play with, and when they're bored or no longer interested in playing with their little toy, they throw them back in the toy box. And you have some women, depending on what they have gone through, they're not playing that. They're not playing the radio. You got some women that are so emotionally damaged that the moment a man crosses them or disrespects them in any way, they're ready to empty the clip because they're tired of getting played. They're tired of being used and taken advantage of. And let's just face the fact, a lot of women don't take accountability. So sometimes when these women keep getting did in over and over and over by different men, they still can't put the pieces together. They still feel like they're the victim. Like, why are men doing this to me? Why is this happening to me? They don't get that they keep putting themselves in this type of situation, and especially when you're dealing with a married man. Truth is, a lot of them you about ain't gonna know they're married, but once you notice the red flags and you still decide to hang in there because you're dickmatized or whatever the case is, and again, when these men get tired of playing with you and entertaining you, when they done dick you down enough and they no longer find you interesting because they done had you so much, some of these women become very psychotic. You know, they become stalkers. They stalk these men. If they can't get the attention of the men, they stalking the wives and things of that nature. So the habitual is definitely a high risk factor because he's not understanding all of these different women you're playing with. You're bound to play with the wrong one. That's going to, you know, cause you a lot of problems, you know, in the long run. You know, secondly, he's more prone to endangering his wife's health because the more different women he's with, the more likely he's bound to bring home a sexually transmitted disease or likely to attract troubled women that can bring additional problems to the household. You know, truth is, a lot of these guys do not use protection. We have preached this over and over and over. The AIDS epidemic, all these sexually transmitted diseases, and just a lot of people, they don't take it serious until it happens. They don't take it serious till they get that doctor's reports. You have been diagnosed with AIDS, you are HIV, full blown. They don't take it serious till the doctor gives them these, detrimental words that, this is what you have contracted. And it's nothing worse knowing you wasn't the one out there cheating and somebody brought it to you. That has happened to several women. Some men have gone through that as well. You do got some women out here that are very promiscuous and they don't like to wear condoms or whatever, and they have brought it home to their husbands. So one person is bad enough, but when it's multiple women, that's increasing the chances of sexually transmitted diseases. Because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to wear protection every single time. The more you out there, the more comfortable you're going to become. You're not going to be but so careful for but so many times. You're not going to cross all your T's. You're not going to dot all your I's. You're going to get sloppy somewhere. You're going to get too comfortable somewhere. And again, like I mentioned, about attracting troubled women. You got a lot of women out here that are emotionally, psychologically damaged. A lot of these men don't understand that because they're not thinking with the head upstairs. They're thinking with the head downstairs. They're looking at how good a woman looks, not understanding that she's deadly. In the words of BBD, poison. She's poisonous. She's nothing to play with. Just because she talks sweet and she flirts with you and, bats her eyes and walks past you sashaying with her big booty and all of this and that, it does not mean she's not psychologically damaged. Does not mean she's not batshit, crazy, So, that's the problem with dealing with the habitual cheater. Thirdly, this type of cheater is a nympho, meaning he's a sex addict and he can easily get bored with one woman. He has to have multiple women in order to feel whole. The truth is, you have a lot of sex fiends, sex addicts. You have some men who have to have it all the time. It's like a drug for them. It's like a drug. And I know a lot, and this is not to make excuses, but keep in mind, you can get addicted to anything. You can get addicted to too much chocolate, candy, sugar. You can get too addicted to alcohol. Hell, it ain't even got to be nothing deep. You can even be addicted to approval, meaning always wanting people to like you, accept you. Addiction does not have a limit on where it can and can't be applied. You have some men that are straight up nymphos, sex fiends, addicted to porn. Anytime a man is addicted to porn, eventually, most of the time, he wants to act out everything that he sees. You're not just going to keep sitting up there watching that type of material over and over and over and over and over, and you're not going to want to actually act out what you see. You have a cheater, a man that's consistently into porn. What do you think he's looking at porn for? He's seeing these different women that are pleasuring these random men, and he starts to crave that. He starts to seek that. You have some men that are straight up sex addicts. Got to have it on a regular. And it does not matter, what you do as a wife or what you don't do. You'll never be able to fulfill the deeds of a overly nymphoic man. It'll never be enough. I don't care how many different positions you try to do. I don't care how many, you might try to change up your look, change up your wigs, change up all kind of stuff, you know, to make the mood, make the atmosphere more intriguing. Um, there's nothing you can do to please a sex addict, no more than there's nothing you can do to please a drug addict. You know, you could put a drug addict in rehab. You can put them in church. You could put them, spend more time with them, so you can keep them out the streets. They want them drugs. They gonna get them drugs. It don't matter. They're gonna find a way to get it. You cannot do something with someone that has a strong addiction for something, And that is the same way dealing with a sex addict. You're dealing with a habitual cheater. One woman would never be enough. Like I said, if you're a woman in a situation and it's been too many encounters, too many, and it's been with several women, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's going to be very difficult, and dealing with a man that has this type of addiction, unless he can really humble himself and get help, get therapy. I mean, there have been some men who have had this issue and have gotten professional treatment and counseling and are doing better. But the truth is, a lot of these men don't care for counseling. They don't care for therapy because of their ego. It's embarrassing. And then a lot of them, they don't think they have the problem anyway. So if you're dealing with a habitual cheater and he doesn't even think he has a problem, then there's nothing you can do anyway to be able to convince him and make him see different. So just keep in mind all the chances you're taking if you decide to continue a marriage with the habitual cheater. And the last point I wanted to make with that, any woman married to a habitual cheater will never have security with this type of man. He will never stop cheating, so staying with this type of man is a high risk factor. You're not going to be able to stop him. You're not going to be able to control it. Like I said, if this has been his behavior, the majority of y'all union, it's not going to change at this point. This ain't been no one-time thing. This man done made this a lifestyle. Once you done made something cheating a lifestyle, like making your bed, like making your damn coffee in the morning, then, you can forget it. You can forget it. You ain't even a problem at this point. This is just something that he is accustomed to doing. And there's nothing you can do to buck the system. He has programmed himself to be this way for years, especially if he's over 40 years old. At this point, ain't no changing him. Ain't no changing him. And if you don't set up, sometimes, ladies, we create monsters. You didn't check him the first time he did this, or let's say you did, and he's going back each and every time. He'll straighten up for a couple of months, take you out to dinner, act like he done settled in, and he decided to be this renewed husband or whatever, and he goes right back. Then, sis, this is just him. You got to take it or leave it. So we're moving right along to the next type of cheater, the psyche of the married man. That is an opportunist. Next, we will discuss the opportunist. Now, the opportunist, the psyche, the mental psyche of the opportunist is that they're not a consistent cheater. The act occurred on the whim and the affair was not prolonged within the marriage. This usually happens at the club, the after party, the workplace. It's a random act that wasn't planned. So basically, the opportunist is much different from the I took care of that already. From the habitual, meaning that he does not have a consistent pattern in cheating and dealing with multiple women. Opportunist meaning the opportunity was presented to him and he did not turn it down. You do not have men that don't go out looking for someone simply to smash. In other words, he don't wake up that morning, I'm gonna look for somebody to smash when I go out tonight and just ruin my trust, ruin my marriage. However, if the opportunity presents itself, he won't turn it down. Example, he decides to take a night out with his boys at a sports bar. You know, shoot a game of pool. The plan that night was just to have, you know, a guy's night out. However, he didn't expect to run into his old girlfriend, ex Shay Shay, who was out. Him and Shay Shay sat at the bar, started talking about the old days, reminiscing and sipping a few drinks. And she decides to invite him over to the apartment just to catch up and have some more conversation instead of declining the offer, since it's already after 1 in the morning. There's nothing you could possibly have to discuss at a chick section of the apartment 1 in the morning. Yet he lies to himself and convinces himself he'll just go with her to hang out. They get there, start talking. She starts rubbing on his leg, play flirting with him. Then she says, "Let me change into something more comfortable," and she changes into a t-shirt with no panties on. Next thing you know, he's clapping her cheeks. Now that the thrill is over, the guilt starts weighing in because the high done wore off and the reality sets in. You have men who get themselves in this type of situation, and they know they're playing with fire, and they already know the moment the offer is presented to them that this is not an offer they should even be entertaining. But the nature of men and women are different. And, you know, it's going to be a lot of bloggers that are totally against these philosophies that I'm speaking upon, because there's this stigma about men that once a cheater, always a cheater type of thing, and that men know exactly what they're doing, and they do. However, their nature is nothing like ours. Men don't perceive sex the way women perceive sex. Most of the time, women, we perceive sex as something precious, something that's supposed to be, and I ain't saying this gets with every woman. You got some women, they don't mind just getting down for that moment and they don't look for nothing either. But for the most part, women, we have some type of emotional, we see sex as some type of emotional connection. There's some type of feelings involved. It's some type of emotional tie. And the reason why it's so much easier for men to go out here and fornicate and commit adultery, because they have no emotional ties, you know, when it comes to having sex with other women. You know, they can lay with women and not have no feelings. They got sex with women and not even be attracted to them. How in all of this, I have interviewed several men of different caliber, different colors, things of that nature. And a lot of them have said the same thing. It does not mean something is wrong on the home front. It does not mean that if they have sex with that woman, they want to be with her, they want to build a future with her. And see, this is what divides men from women, because we look at things from an emotional standpoint. Men are not emotional at all. The only time they have some type of emotion is when it comes to something that they're passionate about, like their kids or their wives or however. So this is not to justify or make an excuse. Again, at the end of the day, you're a woman, you choose what you're going to tolerate or not. But that's why it's so easy for them to get involved in these type of situations, because there are no feelings. There are no emotions involved. They're not looking for anything deep out of it, no more than what that was being gained at that moment. They're not looking for anything extravagant or meaningful, you know, unlike the women, you know, who allow themselves to get in that type of situation. But you know, anyway, you know, the opportunist cheater, he has put himself in a situation. He knew exactly what he was doing. He had the opportunity to escape the situation, and he didn't. You know, he was at the bar. He knew it was going to go down if he went to her apartment. You have men who like to play with fire, because the truth of the matter is, he did want to go over there. He knew it was going to happen, and he knew why it was going to happen. But the opportunist cheater, he's not looking for anything meaningful out of it. Whatever it was at that moment, a quick smash session, that's all it was for him. You know, and now that it is over and he done bust his nut, now reality has sunken in. Like, I shouldn't even came over here. I shouldn't even brought my black ass over here. Now that it's over, reality has sunk in. He wants to hurry and get the hell up out that section of the apartment. She done got up early that morning, making him scrambled eggs and bacon, trying to get him comfortable to stay for the rest of the morning, throughout the rest of the day. He washes off with Irish Spring soap in her bathroom sink and say, nah, I got to get out of here. I got to go. He ain't trying to stay because that's what he wasn't there for that. He was curious. He took the bait, and once he accomplished and conquered it, because by nature men are hunters. They hunt for their prey. Once they conquer their prey, they no longer have a use for it. Furthermore, an opportunist cheater will feel more guilty compared to the habitual cheater, because cheating isn't something he normally does. So it will either A, now that he has experienced it, and keep in mind, before I go into this, a lot of y'all probably don't know that your husband or your significant other is an opportunist cheater. He's probably already done something and you just don't know about it to this day, because either A, it has deterred him from stepping back out again, realizing the guilt, the fact that he was able to get away with it. You did not find out. He does not want to push his luck, or in the case you did find out, and he realizes the damage he has done, and the fact that you don't trust him, and if you did decide to deal with him, it's going to take him forever to rebuild his trust, or the fact that he actually lost his relationship behind it. He realizes the momentary gain was not worth all of what he really lost. So in that nature, in that sense, it can deter him altogether from even putting himself back in that type of situation. Or he will become so intrigued with it that he will continue to keep repeating it. He could become a habitual cheater out of it. You know, it might have been so exciting and he enjoyed the thrill of it that he may continue going out there doing it again. So it just depends on the person. You know, it's going to be one or the other. You know, he's going to realize, damn, I ain't worth all the trouble. This broad is crazy. She's stalking me. She's calling me, you know, hounding me, harassing me, wanting to know when I'm coming back over. You know, every time I see her in the street, she's hounding me, you know, harassing me. Now I can't get rid of this broad. So it's going to be one or the other. Again, a cheater is a cheater, but this is the least problematic one. If he has learned his lesson, I've done interviews with men who have told me one bad encounter was enough to make them realize, you know what, it's not worth it. And truth be told, you know, a lot of people don't want to hear this, but we all are chance takers. We all have taken chances. We all have put ourselves in situations in which we didn't think it all the way through. You know, rather if that meant you probably moved a man in your apartment, in your home, not knowing him that well, and finding out that he's overly possessive, he's crazy, he doesn't like to work, or you invest, you know, take a big gamble and you know, help your children out, you know, a child that you know that's irresponsible, and you gave them a large amount of money, you know, for them to invest in it the right way, only for them to turn around and blow all that hard-earned money that you saved up for them. You know, so we all take chances, just on different levels. Some chances are more extreme, and in this sense, cheating is something that's avoidable. So I can't put it on the same rectum scale with everything, but what I'm saying is, we all have taken chances. You probably put your money in investments, only to find out, you know, you got jinxed out your money, you know, uh, somebody, you know, gave you bad investment. We all take chances, but the thing about it, you know, as long as you learn from it and it's not a continuous thing, and experience is the best teacher. It's better to have dealt with somebody who experienced this than to deal with a man who never experienced it, because he can most likely get himself in a situation because he don't know what to expect. So that is the plus in dealing with a man who has been in situations or who has done this in a relationship. Again, I'm not convincing any woman to stay or leave, but if he has learned, at least you know he's already experienced it, and that's not some a road y'all should have to travel down again, because it's already been done. He realizes the damage that can come behind it. Or again, some cheaters don't need to be spared a second or third chance. You mess up, you mess up. That's it. I get it either way. So the next cheater is the negligent cheater. He was under the influence of some type of substance, alcohol, drugs. This pretty much falls under the alignment of the opportunist, but the difference is the opportunist was in his right mind during the duration of the cheating. The negligent cheater made a decision under the influence of alcohol, marijuana, or other substances. That liquor courage will give you the balls to do things you wouldn't have the guts to do sober. Anytime you're under the influence, you are a totally different person. And alcohol does bring out all of your bad habits. If you was already a cheater, you would cheat even harder. If you was already a liar, you will lie even harder. That's what alcohol does. It just manifests all your bad habits you already had there. And whenever you are in that type of environment, you're at a house party, you're at a club, everybody drinking, smoking, getting high. Certain substances affect people differently. For instance, I know when I drink, I'm more of the laid back, undercover goofy. You know, I think everything is funny, everything is hilarious, and I'm very chilled. You got some people with alcohol, they're very combative. They want to fight. Somebody just look at them wrong in the club, they want to fight. You got some people, they're very promiscuous with alcohol. I've had girlfriends that when they get drunk, they will smash every Tom, Dick, and Daryl. I've had girlfriends like that. But alcohol affects people differently. No different from these men. You have some men who they like to fight when they get drunk. You have some men, they horny heathens when they get drunk. They don't care if she could be Big Buffet Brenda. They'll sleep with a Shrek looking sister and won't think nothing of it, because you're under that influence. That alcohol is making you think you're sleeping with Beyonce, or making you think you're sleeping with Tony Braxton, you know, and you're sleeping with Kiki that, you know, that lives in public housing. You know what I mean? So alcohol affects people in different ways. So most likely, if you're dealing with a negligent cheater, his issue is he cannot put himself in positions in which he's drinking, because he's already proved that he cannot handle his liquor at all. You know, either he gets professional help, or this is going to become a continuous problem, because alcohol is everywhere. Clubs are everywhere. Liquor stores are everywhere. And if this is what he does every time he gets drunk, then you're going to have this problem on your hands for many, many years to come. The committed cheater. Now, this one is the one that I really wanted to get to. This cheater is one of the worst. Because I would say, even with the first cheater that I told y'all about, which was the habitual cheater, the difference with him is that he's been with multiple women, but he's not trying to get tied down to any of them. He's not trying to build with them. He's not catching feelings for them. But the problem is just way too many. And I already broke down the elements of how I feel about that, how risky it is, because there's just way too many different women. The committed cheater, y'all, with him, it's really bad because it's been continuous with one woman. Or in some cases, he probably he could too have had 2-3 women outside of the marriage, but that's even more hard for him to juggle. So most of the time, the committed cheater is committed to his one side chick outside of the marriage that he has had an ongoing relationship for over several years. Martell and Ariane, perfect example. There's not just a fling, but an actual relationship outside of the marriage. Now I know what y'all are saying. How the hell can you call it a relationship, Mocha? It's not a relationship. He's married. I get it. You cannot have a relationship with a married man. But the reason why I said relationship, because with the side chick, he's doing everything for her that he normally would do with his wife. Meaning, he's taking her out in the public. He's not hiding her. Okay? They're going on trips together. They're going out of town, renting 5-star suites for weeks at a time. He's spending money. I ain't talking about just a Blizzard at Dairy Queen or a waffle at Waffle House. He's really putting a lot of money in her. He's paying her rent, paying her mortgage, paying her utilities. He wants his side chick to be comfortable. He's not just trying to bust some nuts and pleasure himself. He wants to make her life easier because he has gained a certain amount of feelings for her to where he does not want her to struggle. He does not want her to be without. Unlike the habitual cheater who don't give a damn, or the opportunist or the negligent, it's basically all about pleasuring themselves. This is a whole nother level. And this is why I could understand women like Mel who have divorced and walked away from the committed cheater. Because it's one thing, listen, cheating is wrong regardless of what. It's one thing if your man had one smash session or so. But when it's gotten to the point he's taking money out of your account that y'all are working, y'all are working hard for. He's making her life easy, but he's subtracting from your household to make her life easy. That is total disrespect. If I had to pick and choose, I don't want no cheater in my life. But let's face it, none of these men out here are perfect. There's no such thing as the perfect marriage. You know, Kobe Bryant, God bless his soul, they experienced it. And you never heard about him anymore stepping outside his marriage after he got caught with that one waitress. And that lawsuit came up against him. Didn't hear anything else. However, men that are committed cheaters are the most disrespectful because they're basically living double lives. And if you're going to do you, don't do you to the point to where you're taking and stealing from me. Martell was taking money out of him and his wife's account to support Ariane's lifestyle. So while the side chick got to sit in her Section A apartment and Martell was paying her $20-$30 rent or whatever, or I think at the time she was living in a luxury apartment. She didn't go to the Section 8 till Mel divorced him and he could no longer have access to the bank accounts, so she had to downgrade and go in Section 8. So she probably could have been living in a townhouse. Rent was probably $3,000-$4,000 a month, because you got to realize the side chick, the married man is going to make sure the side chick for the most part lives the way he lives with his wife. It may not be that exact level, but if him and Mel are staying in a bomb ass beautiful mansion, he gonna make sure at least Ariane lives in a nice decked out townhouse. You know, it's never as big as what he has with his wife, but he's gonna make sure because he's used to that lifestyle. So he's going to make sure, and again, because he has caught feelings for this woman, he actually wants to be with this woman. He's gotten an attached to this woman. He wants her to be able to benefit like him and his wife is benefiting. And just saying this shit is just pissing me off. But this is his mental psyche. Make sure I don't lose my train of thought. Getting back to the committed cheater. This is the worst cheater because unlike the habitual cheater that has multiple women, he doesn't attach himself to one. Unlike the opportunist and the negligent cheater was a one-time occurrence that never happened again. The committed cheater has basically developed a double life, like I mentioned earlier. He has made himself comfortable with being with both women and the wife and the mistress. It's a lifestyle, y'all. There's a difference between a choice and a lifestyle. A choice is something, is a decision you made at that point in time, and that was that. A lifestyle means you have adopted this new life as your way of living. Using Martell, he has actually adopted having two women. He made this a part of his lifestyle. And the sad part was he wanted both of these women to commit, because what happened was he trapped himself and he became codependent on the both of them. He loved his wife due to the fact that that was his wife, the mother of his kids. He knew Mel was a go-getter. He knew she was ambitious. He knew Mel was everything that he was not. And that's the psyche of the married man. They know their wives. This is why they married the wives. The wives are strong in areas in which they are weak. And see, this is what marriage is supposed to be about. For instance, I am stronger than my husband in certain aspects, and he is stronger than me in other aspects. You know, I'm more of the emotional and he's more of the logical. You know what I mean? So I'm always emotionally looking at things that he's looking at logically, and vice versa. But that's where we complement each other. The married man knows that he can trust his wife. This is the crazy part. The cheater, they trust their wives with everything. But this is the crazy part. They have learned how to love bomb by making the wife believes that she's cheating or she's doing wrong by him. Well, I know you dealing with somebody. I know you're talking to somebody. That's his way of keeping her in alignment, so she won't even consider cheating, because that's what he's doing. So you have the psyche of the married man, where he likes to keep the wife thinking that she's up to no good. Or I know when you be out here, you be talking to these men. I know you still talk to your ex, your old boy. Anything to keep you on your toes, to keep you in his good grace, because as the wife, you're already feeling like, okay, he's always thinking I'm doing something. He's always thinking I'm cheating. He's always thinking I'm out there. So you do everything in your power to not give him that indication, since he's manipulated you into making you believe that he feels you're up to no good anyway. So that will keep you in alignment from not even looking at another man, not even considering another man, because he already put it in your mind. I know you gonna cheat. I already know you gonna lie. I already know you gonna see another nigga on me. He can catch you just at the grocery store talking to a guy in the vegetable section, somebody who's interested in doing some type of contract with you, and in his mind he wants to make that bigger than what it is, because he needs to keep you on your toes, because that gives him room to be able, it's called gaslighting, that gives him room to be able to keep doing the fuckery that he's doing. Okay? So he will accuse and misuse and abuse. Accuse you of stuff that you ain't doing. Abuse you by making you feel bad, because the narcissist, he knows how to make you feel like you're doing something even when you're not. So you get all emotional, which causes him to misuse. So you know, as I was stating, he knows how to accuse, abuse, and misuse. That's his tactic. So you're in such a frenzy of trying to prove that you have his best interest, yet he's out here doing what he wants to do. And you have a lot of martels out there that do that. They do that to their wives because they know her value, and they don't want another man being able to reap the benefits of that. He wants to use her value. As a wife, your value does not mean you have to have several businesses and endorsements like Mel. Just the fact that you know how to talk to people, the fact that you have a gift where you can make things, you can do things. You don't have to be a top high value woman for your husband to see your value. Just the fact that you smart, the fact that you can think your way out of stuff. He knows you are valuable to him in that aspect. You know what I mean? The fact that you take care of his kids, the fact he knows that. So he will keep accusing you of things and making you feel like you up to something. So that's his way of keeping you in line. Meanwhile, he has the pleasure of not only having you as his backbone and support system, he also has the benefits of having an outside woman that can give him all the sexual desires and everything he needs, because the outside woman, the side chick, that's really her purpose. Realize the wife does not always have the time to sex you down, to randomly give you blowjobs in the park and stuff like that. Like idealistically, marriage does not, it don't work that way. You got bills, you got children, and also when Martell was coming with all this, you wasn't pleasing me. That was just gaslighting. Everybody knows in marriage, you cannot give your husband head randomly throughout the day. You know what it just don't work like that. You work, he work, kids, bills, responsibilities. Does not mean y'all should deprive each other of sex, but y'all have so much other responsibilities. The side chick, on the other hand, does not have any responsibilities. So if he calls her and says, hey, I'm getting ready to come over, I want some head, I want some so-and-so, she's going to put her all into that, because that is all she has to offer. She does not have to take care of his kids. She does not have to wash his clothes. She does not have to take care of his business investments. And Martell was getting the best of both worlds. Ariane being a young, dumb, bobblehead broad that she is. And a lot of Arianes out there, I'm not just checking for her. It's a lot of them out here. They have all the time to sexually please these men because they're not investing anything else. I'm not taking your care of your kids. I'm not handling your business or deals, contracts, or whatever. Of course, I can make you feel like a king for 5 minutes, you know. And he actually became, Martell became consumed with having the best of both worlds, and it's an entrapment, because when he was tired of Ariane's bobblehead ass, you know, he knew he had his wife who he can lean on when it came down to business and family and stuff like that. He knew he had that. But when his wife was boring or had too much business meetings and couldn't give him all his head or whatever he wanted, he knew he could go to Ariane for that. So in the psyche of the mental psyche of the married man, I got my wife over here who I knows is going to do right by me. She's going to hold down the house because we have a marriage. So I trust that my wife is going to do everything to make sure we straight. But at the other token, I still want to have my cake and eat it too. I have the side chick who can please me when my wife can't. So that way I don't have to wait on my wife to sexually please me. And at the same time, I don't have to leave my wife to be with Ariane, because Ariane is understanding. And the side chicks, that's where they mess themselves up at. They make themselves very readily available, like a Little Caesar's pizza. These Little Caesar broads, hot and ready, always convenient. That's what I'm gonna call them. These Little Caesar sluts, hot and ready. Okay, always make themselves readily available. So what happened was he became addicted. He became infatuated with having both of them. He couldn't have one without the other. He made it a lifestyle. The committed cheater makes it a lifestyle. The dangerous part about this is not only has he trapped the side chick and the wife, he basically trapped himself because he made himself get accustomed to the both of them. He messed himself up because if Ariane wanted to leave, he would have been doing everything to make her stay because he wouldn't have just wanted to deal with Mel and Mel alone. He got used to having Ariane there to pleasure him. And this is the very reason why he resents Mel. He hates Mel. And he tries to do everything he can to spite Mel because Mel took away the other part of him that he became very codependent on. He never saw that woman leaving him. He never saw the day Mel was going to walk out of his life. He got used to having his wife there, to have access to them bank accounts, to have access to his kids. On top of that, handle her. He had this control, over how he was handling things. And when she divorced him, that shook his whole world up. You cannot pull out, when you got strong pull-out game from a narcissist, baby. Expect all the goddamn, all of the bullets in the chamber. He gonna be emptying his clip. Martell has emptied his clip over and over and over. He's been trying to shoot at Mel every chance he could get, and he's so miserable. I don't care how many women boost up his ego. I don't care how much he walk around with his shirt off, strutting his chest. He lost a major part of himself. And that's how marriage works. Marriage is more than just a piece of paper. You don't realize that that person was bound to you in the spirit. So once you lose your better half, your spirit slowly dies and withers at you. And the truth is, he's more angry with himself than he is with Mel. But the narcissist, in his case, it's easier for him to place blame on Mel than himself. Greed has gotten the best of him. Greed has taken over, and now he can't have one without having the other. He had to have both to function. I'll say this. It's probably been times Ariane probably told him, I don't want to do this because I know you're not leaving. She probably said it once or twice in the beginning. But he kept pulling her back in. Because he done got so accustomed to having Ariane there, he wouldn't have been able to function just being a husband and Mel. He done became, his own cheating has made him very greedy. Most cheaters become needy. It goes, put it this way, it goes from greedy to needy. He needs the both of them. And if he could get them both to agree, do you know how happy that man would be? Let's say if Mel was one of them women, okay, I don't want you dealing with her, but I know you are, but I don't want to lose my marriage. I still want to keep us together for the sake of our kids. Do you know how happy Martell would be? The happiest man on this planet if he could have got both of them to just agree. Now Ariane would have been down with it. He already had Ariane on lockdown. Ariane was accepting of him being married. She was cool with it. Mel wasn't. And because Mel wasn't cool with it, he lost his cool. He lost his mind. Excuse me, y'all. That's my chair. It's so squeaky. I need to put some oil in it. He lost his mind. If he really, really could have it his way and get both of them to agree, but it's the bad part. He still would have been treating both of them all kind of way. My thing is, If you're going to be that type of dude, at least make sure everybody's happy. Don't give anybody a reason to walk out on you. I mean, if you're going to be grimy, at least at least have it to where both women feel like they being treated right, so neither one just wants to give up and throw in the towel. The way he was treating Mel, he was already getting away with it for a long time. But what tends to happen to the psyche of the married man, he starts getting overwhelmed with the responsibilities of having a wife and a side chick. And what tends to happen is, this is why I don't blame Mel for leaving, because when things go wrong on one end, they look for you to compensate for that on the other end. If the side chick is acting up, now they want to cave on into the wife, and they want the wife to make them feel whole and make them feel important. Or if they're going through problems with the wife at home, she's getting on him about, I know you out there, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're not paying the bills, you're doing this, you're doing that. He's able to cave in with the side chick to escape all the misery at home. So that's the psyche of the married man. That's why they're not man enough to be able to deal with their issues in a more healthy way. If you and your wife have a problem, y'all talk it out, y'all work it out, y'all come up with a resolution. You don't go to the side chick and let her suck you off for about an hour so you can get your mind off of the things that's going on at home. That's the psyche of the married man. A lot of times is not so much they are in love with the side chick. They are in love with what the side chick does. When he's feeling stressed out at home, his wife is getting on him. And like a wife's supposed to, you're not handling your business. You're being neglectful. You're not being attentive as a father or a husband. You have every right as a wife to express that to him. And he's supposed to be a mature, adult, grown-ass man and come up with a resolution where both of you can be comfortable. No, the little boy in him, this is why it's necessary for him to have a side chick. He don't want to deal with all the stress, and it's not stress, but it's supposed to be responsibilities. But in his mind, his responsibilities are stress. So when he wants to get away from the stress, which is his responsibilities, he'll go to the side chick's apartment, let her suck him off for about an hour or so. Make him feel good to where he's not focusing on what he should do as a husband. And see, this is the reason why Mel went through so much with him, because he never put himself in a position in which he had to really answer or deal with being a husband, or deal with coming up with solutions in which he could actually be a team, reliable partner to Mel. He just kept going to Arion getting sucked off. So that didn't give him any room to really deal with his problems, to make him man up. In other words, being a married man, the psyche, okay, if your wife gets on you about something and you realize it's a problem, the married man, if he has to go fishing, he has to go get on his yacht, his boat, whatever. In other words, he's able to reasonably deal with where he's coming up short in a healthy manner. He finds a healthy hobby. If that means, playing golf, or like I said, fishing, or shooting a game of pool, he'll go in a healthy, he'll deal with his problems in a healthy manner in order to refresh himself mentally and realize, okay, this is what I need to do. You got men like Martell, they don't do that. Instead, they go to the side chick and they'll sex it off, or they'll get it sucked off. So therefore, he's not really coming up with a solution. He's not really coming up with the way to solve the problem. He just goes to the side chick, and that's why there's no growth, there's no progress, because he's not dealing with his demons. He deals with the side chick. That helps him to escape his accountability, because she's sucking him off. She's giving him sex, giving him head, so he ain't got to really think about where he's going wrong. He doesn't really have to, you know what I'm saying, reason with his wrongdoings. That's what Martell was doing. I'm sure every time Mel was getting on him about things he should have been doing, things he could be doing, Martell never had the never well he could have, but he never took that time and that opportunity to really think about where he was going wrong as a husband. He kept pointing out everything Mel was doing because see, the side chick don't never point out their faults. The side chick doesn't have to point out your faults. The side chicks, she's the one that's having the good times with you. She's the one that's getting the dick and the dinners and the 5-star hotel suites. She's getting the best sides of you, so she does not have to ridicule you. She does not have to criticize you. She's not dealing with you on that note of responsibilities and stuff. But the wife is, so it comes off like the wife is being a nag, or the wife is ungrateful, or the wife is just unappreciative, because here it is, the side chick has got him thinking that he's a real man because he knows how to thrust it and bust it. And again, because she doesn't have to get on him about bills. He's either paying her bills or he's not. She doesn't have to get on him about what he does or doesn't do for the kids, because either they don't have kids or the kids they got. The side chick ain't complaining about what he's doing and not doing. The side chick never really complains. So in his mind, he feels like if this woman is comfortable with what I'm doing, you should be comfortable with it. It's crazy how the mental psyche of these married men, but this is how they think, y'all. This is how they think. Again, he can only function with both. He done made himself adaptive to that. He doesn't want to leave the wife because the wife has his kids, and he feels a sense of security because he does trust his wife more than the side chick. Yes, cheating husbands trust their wives more than the side chick. But the problem is he doesn't feel the need to make his wife feel safe with him. However, he can get the side chick to fill in the gaps sexually because all she's providing is sex when he can't get it from his wife. In my opinion, any man who feels this way, he should just go into polygamy. I think Martell should just go into polygamy with Ariane. You know, I really think, for one, Ariane to deal with it because she's young and dumb. She's a bobblehead. And you got some women out here who still think Martell is the ish. They still got him thinking he's sexy. You got these females like 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, which I know this is a game. The energy that we know, that I'm not even buying that. The chemistry looks so forced and fake. It does not seem real, authentic. Martell is a lost little boy. Since he lost his marriage, he's trying to find any and every way to get in and fit in because he's lost in the sauce. He does not know himself anymore. And the truth is, a lot of these men, they know themselves better through their wives. And when they lose their wives, they lose themselves. I think Martell knew himself better when he was with Mel. But once he lost Mel, he lost himself. So he's like a little boy, you know, doing all type of things to try to get up under Mel's skin to provoke him. I mean, to provoke her. Because this is the little boyishness. This is what happens. Most cheaters, when they no longer can have their way, it's fine throughout the whole time when they're able to juggle back and forth. But once the game is over and it has caught up with them, they start rebelling like little teenage boy. Being disrespectful, acting out, you know, being real childish, picking up all kind of women to try to spite Mel. You know, and he's never going to let her be at peace because he's not at peace. Martell is a miserable soul, and any woman who deals with him, she's got to be miserable as well. 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, as beautiful and stunning as she is, 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 really doesn't have a life. And I really don't think that, as beautiful as she is, that men can really deal with her. 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 cannot catch a break. As beautiful as she is, she's a piece of work. And with all due respect, her ex-husband, Bob Whitfield, you know, a lot of people knock him and drag him, but he said a lot of things on the Iyanla show that made a lot of sense. You know, he said that basically 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 was after what he had, that she basically used him as an accessory, like another Coach bag, like some new shoes. And I'm like, damn, that's deep. I ain't never heard a brother say, I've been used like another accessory. I was just something to look good to add to her collection. And I'm like, wow, this man is not as slow as I thought he was. So 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 ain't by herself for a reason, and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓼 ain't with Martell for no reason. Somewhere her brain ain't fully baked. It's undercooked. Like I say, just because a woman looks good don't mean it's all good, okay? Beautiful woman, beautiful body, but somewhere the elevator don't go all the way up. I mean, the mall is open, but ain't nobody shopping. Not even on the Black Friday. Okay? That she's somewhere she done got bit by the slow bug, okay? Don't think because a woman has a beautiful body, her ass ain't slow. No different than a man who's fine as hell and just as slow as all outdoors. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm already over an hour and some change, so I'm gonna get ready to shut it down. The reason why this content was so long because I owed it to y'all. I've been sleeping on y'all. I have not been keeping up with you, but it is Friday and I do got some things that I have to do. So nevertheless, y'all, again, please hit that like button right now before you leave. I really appreciate that. Trust these content creators. We don't ask y'all for likes just to be asking y'all. We really be needing the likes just as much as we, you know, donations are cool, but them likes, that's what be hitting. We be needing them likes, so please hit them like buttons, okay? Other than that, I am selling tumblers for Valentine's Day. All right? If you want to give your husband a nice sports tumbler, or if he has a favorite movie, a favorite anime, anything that's his hobby, inbox me at cafedepara79@yahoo.com. I can make him a beautiful cup. And also, when you do hit me about the orders, in case you didn't know, I can send you an animation of the cup before you actually purchase it, so you can see what it looks like, okay? Because a lot of people ask me that. Well, how will I be able to see the cups? You know, I'm going to email you a display before we even print the cups. That way you can let me know if you like it, you don't like it, and I'll just keep sending you different displays until you find one that will work for you. I do shipping, so whatever tumbler you order, most of my tumblers range from $25 to $40. Keep in mind, you got to pay that extra $9 for that shipping. But I think cups are really nice gifts because you don't have to figure out what color he wears, what size. You got to go to the mall, stand on a long line. So just give him a nice cup of his favorite sports team, his favorite rock band, favorite rap artist. Hit me up. I will be glad to make him a nice cup for Valentine's Day, or maybe you got a birthday coming up. I also sell cable, ladies. 9,000 channels. Y'all up here paying over $100 for cable. It's other stuff you could be doing with your money. I'm sure your kids got stuff they need. You got so many other bills. I can make your life easier. Only $25 a month for 9,000 channels. If you're interested, inbox me. You do have to have an Amazon stick. If you don't have an Amazon stick, don't worry, I can get one for you, okay? And then you'll just have to reimburse me for the Amazon stick. And well, I don't know what this crazy stuff popping up. And that's basically it. And the Amazon stick will come with one free month worth of cable. So if I got to get the Amazon stick for you, it'd be $60, but it'll already be loaded with everything on it. The apps will be on it. I'll also throw in some goodies. I'll put in some extra free apps that a lot of people don't know about. I always hook my customers up. It's a bunch of apps out here with movies and everything that a lot of people don't know, and all I do is I put it on your app for you. I look out for you. So you will get a Fire Stick with my app that has a 9,000 channels, plus I'm going to put a lot of other free apps on there that nobody knows about unless you are selling cable like I do. So anyway, y'all, it's been a blessing. Thank y'all ladies for being so patient, waiting on this content. Y'all have a wonderful weekend, and y'all take care. Bye.